as you have people come into your office and talk with you, they want to meet with you and counsel with you, what do you see from them that tends to be something that maybe holds them back, they get stuck, and they don't know where to go from there?
Yeah, I see that usually people are struggling with their thinking patterns. And that may sound kind of obvious, but if we take a look at this journey through life that we take, really people are not too aware of what they're thinking because we're on autopilot so much. You think about the first 8 years of life, and here's this this child. If you've got children, it's easy for us to see because we got kids. But those first 8 years of life are purely an emotional brain that is being developed. So anything that happens during those years is more like an imprint that they can have a tendency to take in a negative way. But they're also learning all these beliefs. Now, simple beliefs like this is a yellow shirt, that's a car, that's mom, that's dad. So some of these real basic, simple beliefs, but they start to adapt to the family system belief, right? So then they grow into teenagers, and then they grow into 20-somethings. And by that time, we're on full cruise control, and we're really not challenging the way we think about things. Now, that can be a double-edged sword. It can be positive or negative when we start really challenging the things that we think about. But if we take a look at life and we say, okay, what's working and what's not working? And we can backtrack that to what's the level of thinking that I'm putting into something, and where are those thoughts coming from? So look at it in this big picture. There's a part in our brain that is called the reticular activating system, RAS for short. It's a big, long word, but RAS for short. This is the part of the brain, just to simplify it down, that really controls what input comes into the brain. So at any given time, there's billions of bits of information that are coming at us through our eyes, through our ears, through all the senses. And out of those billions of bits of information, our brain can only handle a small portion of them at one given time. So that begs us to ask the question, of all these bits of information coming in, which ones do we focus on, and why do we focus on those? Well, we focus on those because those are the ones that have the most reference to us. So here's a great example. If you've ever bought a car and it's the first time you've ever owned that type of car, let's just say a Toyota. A Toyota Camry. Now, all of a sudden, there's this conspiracy that everyone in the world is driving a Toyota Camry because now everywhere I go, I've got a reference for a Toyota Camry, and I have a tendency to see them. And they're all white, right? So it's this process in the brain that is attracted to seeing the things that we have a reference for. So there's a lot of positives that can happen with that, but there's also a lot of negatives that can happen with that, because when we're developing this cognition, these ways of thinking, if they get developed in a negative way, then our reference is going to be to the negative. So for example, if I have this deep real insecurity that I just don't measure up, or I'm not good enough, which really comes from a shame base. If I have that way of thinking, I'm going to look at a situation, and whatever that situation is, the areas that I'm not good enough are going to be highlighted. So we get in this negative loop, this negative thinking pattern of the I can'ts, right? I can't do whatever it is. Think about school. I stink at tests. Well, guess what? I'm going to go and I'm going to stink at the test because my brain is already positioning me to see the negatives or to have that worry, and I'm going to do bad on it. I'm always late. Well, yes, I will always be late because now I'm thinking through that, and that's the focal point of my brain, which puts me in a place of where I'm late. So overall, the way that people think and not challenging the way that they think really keeps people stuck.